2129.
Come live your best life at Eastridge Residence.
Whether you are planning a wedding or a family reunion, maybe you're a business owner hosting a large number of clients in town. Regardless of the situation, if group transportation is a need you have, Nooga Shuttles says they are the name that you need. Kim Alverson joins us this morning to tell about her company that turns 5 years old this year. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Am I doing the math right? 2018 you opened, right?
Yes, sure did. Thanks for having us.
I love that you were here. The Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce has sent you our way because I think you're so representative not only of how there's room for every type of business here in town,
right,
but the networking of successful business ownership. And it was kind of that networking that launched Nooga Shuttles to begin with,
oh,
right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Chamber's been a big part of that all the way around. We launched in 2018 and there was an immediate need for group transportation all over Chattanooga, and we were able to fill that need through most of our connections. We've been members of the Chamber since then, and it's just been fabulous for our business.
You were sharing me kind of a brief story of how you got started. You moved here from the Florida area, fell in love with the town, and you were working in the hotel industry.
Right.
And you began to have customers come to you saying, hey, how are we going to get this group of us downtown for an event?
Right.
And then you began to kind of do some talking amongst other hotels, and the idea went from there.
Absolutely. It was mostly the director of sales at all the local hotels who finally convinced us to take the step, and it was absolutely fabulous. We haven't looked back. Our growth has been phenomenal over the past 5 years. Slowed down a bit during COVID, of course.
Sure.
But ever since, we've just skyrocketed. We've moved from smaller shuttles around town up into motor coaches and tours. It's been amazing.
Well, let's talk about what that looks like, because I've recently had a wedding. My daughter got married this summer, and we were not quite sure how we were going to handle things. So that's a good example of a need you can meet, right? To help people.
Absolutely. A lot of people will hire us for weddings just because they don't want the responsibility or liability of people possibly getting lost or consuming too many alcoholic beverages. They just want to keep everyone safe.
Do you have like minimum times you have to book, and then there's a maximum length of time as well, or how does that work?
Well,
because you're not really supposed to be like an Uber shuttle, are you?
No, it is a custom charter.
Okay.
For the day. And normally what we'll do is the amount of time depends on each vehicle, but they're fairly decent amounts of little blocks of time. They start at about 5 hours.
Okay.
And can go up to about 10 hours. We don't normally go over that just because we have to adhere to the DOT regulations for the drivers.
Gotcha. So you mentioned kind of the organic growth of it all. You have kind of a size for every need. So these motor coaches you've recently added, but if you've got a group of 10, you have a van or something to accommodate that size as well.
Absolutely. We started out with a couple of small shuttle buses that ran here around town. We bought a couple more little shuttle buses to run around town, and during COVID we added in cars and SUVs for car service because there was a very high demand for that. And then we started getting really good deals during the pandemic on motor coaches, and we knew that the industry would pick back up. So we kind of doubled down and bought a couple of motor coaches, and now we're up to a total of 19 vehicles.
Wow.
Of all different sizes.
So this is a busy season, I would think, that you're going to be getting into. Do you encourage people to reserve quickly?
We actually have a few weekends in October of 2024 that are closed out already.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. Unfortunately, I hate to keep bringing back up the pandemic, but it was very instrumental, and not instrumental, but it was very important in our industry. There were about 3,000 motor coach operator companies across the country pre-COVID, and there's less than 1,600 now.
Wow.
And production is very, very low on getting new motor coaches, so it's very hard for the companies that do still exist to grow and feel the need that's there.
But if you're talking, when you mentioned that there are some weekends in October of next year that are booked, that's not to discourage people from still contacting you if they have a need this December.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
If it's a peak season, normally spring and fall, we do suggest you reach out as soon as possible. If we don't have anything available, then we'll try and find something to take care of people through another company.
That's great of you to do that.
Sure.
How far do you go? Do you stay just in the Chattanooga perimeter, or do you go into like the Knoxville area? How far will you go?
No, we have interstate authority, so we'll go
Okay.
anywhere. As a matter of fact, our motor coaches do a lot of tours in places like Branson, Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
down to Orlando. We do try and stay what we consider regional, which I know for a lot of people that wouldn't be regional.
Yeah. But since you came here from Florida, you're going to have
Yes.
to always consider Florida part of your region, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And have you been surprised since you've been here these 8 years, you came for the love of the city, not expecting to
Yes.
be a business owner now in town.
Right.
Have you been at all surprised at the encouragement and support you've gotten from folks here?
We have been so blessed. Our growth and our support from our community has been amazing. We just can't thank everyone in Chattanooga enough for really getting behind us and supporting us.
I'm going to share with people your phone number, and I know you have a website as well.
Yes.
People have lots of questions in situations like this, so when they
Right.
call, will they get somebody to talk to, or is it pretty much online
Oh,
Q&A?
no, absolutely. We try and curate every trip
Okay.
individually for people because we don't want to, as a person with a hospitality background, I want the experience to be exactly what they're anticipating. So we have somebody who reaches out to them, or we have somebody who answers the phone 24 hours a day.
Okay.
And we have a sales department that reaches out and will curate the event specifically for them.
That was not a set-up question, but you gave the very answer we all wanted to hear. 896-2555 is the phone number you will call to get that real live person.
Absolutely.
But if you want to find out more about the fleet and the various things they offer, it's Nooga Shuttles.com.
Yes, and either Taylor or Lauren will be answering the phone. They're our salespeople, and they're dressed amazing.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much.
Warning. The following Zaxby's ad contains content that may be obscene.